Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. Going to have a look at when it's week to 10 days. In today's video, it's going to take us well into October. And it looks like we're going to be starting October on quite an unsettled note. We may actually have the remnants of, both two hurricanes actually, Lee and Maria. It looks like they're going to amalgamate into one deep area of low pressure early next week, and that might give us a bit of a blow from the Atlantic. So I'll show you all the latest detail in a second. At the end of the video, just talk a little bit about Christmas updates, because 3 months today, it's going to be Christmas Day, so it'll be time soon to start thinking about Christmas updates, and I'll talk you through all of that at the end of the video. But we'll just start off by looking at the latest positions of Hurricanes Lee and Maria. So this is where the Category 1 Hurricane Lee is currently sitting in the middle part of the tropical Atlantic Ocean, and this is where Maria is sitting as well. Again, that's a Category 1 hurricane. That's closer towards the eastern side of America. Both of these storms are going to be pushing northwards over the coming few days. And it looks like they'll get sort of caught up in the jet stream by the weekend, start to head our way. Otherwise, not much else going on in the tropical Atlantic now. It looks like we're going into a little bit of a quieter phase. We'll be waiting to see when our next storms start to appear. So, coming back to the UK's weather, this is the 500 millibar height anomaly flowchart from the PSU Penn State University website. We can compare the GFS with the ECMUF here. We've got the ECM on the top, the GFS, which we'll have a look at in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 80 feet is an area in the atmosphere. High pressure and low pressure are being moved around by a jet stream running above. Blue extrapolates to low pressure, and red extrapolates to high pressure. So we see that in the next week, 10 days, as I say, it's taking us into the first week of October. We've got below average heights, low pressure here with the ECMUF running in across the UK. The jet stream's on a little bit of a southerly track as well. The black lines there indicating where the jet stream is, so we are slightly on the colder side of the jet. And then we've got this big sort of blocking feature up to the northeast of us. So we've got a big area of high pressure up there, and then we've got the low pressure being forced on a more southerly track underneath that blocking feature. And as I say, some of this low pressure, particularly this area just here in the Atlantic, is contained in the remains of those two storms I was talking about, Lee and Maria. This is the GFS 500 millibar height anomaly from PSU website. Again, it's the same idea that we have got this big area of below average heights around the UK and in the Atlantic. Jet stream, quite a strong jet stream, is on a fair old southerly track as well. And then we've got this blocking feature up to the north and to the northeast as well. So the unsettled weather undercutting the block really. That's going to keep much of northern Europe quite dry and quiet, but out to the northwest is a good deal more unsettled in the Atlantic. These are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. It's for Halifax today. Somebody's asked me to have a look at Halifax for today's ensembles. So the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average at Halifax. And by the way, if you would like to see your local town or city featured in the videos with these ensembles, then do let me know. And I can't do every single town and city. Some of them aren't listed at Weather Central, but there are a lot of places, so I'll be able to find somewhere reasonably close to your location. So let me know through the comment section at YouTube, or of course you can email at gavsweathervids@gmail.com or post to the comment section at gavsweathervids. So always happy to feature your town or city within these videos in terms of the ensembles. Right, that little plug out of the way. Red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average. We're warmer than average at the moment. A fairly mild air mass the rest of this week. Cooling down a bit as we go into the start of October. That's the 1st of October just there. So we go back towards average. It looks like we essentially stay around average with the temperatures as we're going through into the first week and possibly up to the second week of October. Perhaps more dramatic than the temperatures, which aren't doing a huge amount over the coming couple of weeks, it's rainfall. There's lots of rainfall spikes here for Halifax over the next couple of weeks. So we've got a fair amount of rain coming up for today even, and then more rainfall later on in the week, over weekend, and into the start of next week as well. You know, some quite big spikes are in there, indicating fairly wet end to September and start to October. That drier spell that we was talking about last week, that has been very much downgraded as we got closer to the time frame. The models have really sort of ramped up the Atlantic. They underestimated the strength of the Atlantic last week, and that will be something to keep in mind as we go through the next few weeks, and we may find ourselves in battleground situations with high pressure to the east and low pressure to the west. The models can sometimes underestimate the influence of the Atlantic, and that's one of the this is one of those occasions that that has happened. So having a look at the surface temperature and air pressure for Halifax over the next couple of weeks with GFS ensembles. This is where we are right now, generally above 15 Celsius with the maximum temperatures. Over the coming few days, not a huge amount of change really, hovering around sort of 15 degrees as the maximum temperature for the next week. To the start of October, just here, it looks like we then get a little bit of a cooling trend taking place, going under 15 degrees Celsius through that first week of October. So the idea is there, but reasonably mild conditions for the coming week, and then get through into the first week of October. Looks like we go into something quite a lot cooler, but it is a cooling time of year, of course, so probably not really all that far from average, but certainly cooler through the first week of October compared to the final week of September. For the air pressure, so it looks like we have modestly high pressure at the moment, around 1,020 millibars, so we will get some dry days, particularly focusing on tomorrow and also on Wednesday as well, then more unsettled later on in the week. And then overall, I think pressure is lowering as we go into this first week of October, going down to around 1,010 millibars. In fact, there are some very low pressure ensemble members here as we go through this first week of October. So the idea there that we are going to go to more unsettled phase first week of October. Right at the very end, going into second week of October, possibly signs of a slight recovery in pressure then. These are the temperature anomalies for next week. This is taking us from the 25th of September through to the 3rd of October. And it's looking a little bit milder than average in the weekend. As I say, the coming few days are going to be quite mild, and then cooling over the weekend and into next week. Precipitation anomalies are looking around average, really, from the 25th September to 3rd of October. Close to average with precipitation. Expect these to trend wetter over the coming week. We'll watch these day by day. I suspect what will happen is that they'll trend cooler and they'll trend wetter as we go further into October. So let's just pull this out, have a look at the GFS for the next few days. And this is how things are looking on Friday. You've got a deep area of low pressure in the Atlantic. This over here in the far left-hand corner of the chart as you're looking at it is Hurricane Lee sitting just there over in the western portion of the Atlantic Ocean. We go through to Saturday, and it's all looking very unsettled. Low pressure out close to Iceland. So unsettled conditions into the weekend and turning a bit cooler as well. At that point, that is Hurricane Lee just there. This is Maria now appearing in the far left-hand side of the chart as you're looking at it. We go through to Sunday and look what's happened. The two storms, or two areas of low pressure, have merged into one large area of low pressure just there in the middle of the Atlantic. So Lee and Maria have come together and formed quite a deep area of low pressure. And as we run through into the early part of next week, here comes that area of low pressure. Very deep one. Can't really make out what the central pressure is with that, but I think it's going down close to probably around 960 millibars. So very deep area of low pressure there in the Atlantic. Bring gales and heavy rain into the UK through the early part of next week. That's a very unsettled looking chart that we have for Tuesday, the 3rd of October. really deep area of low pressure to the northwest of Scotland, so gale force winds heading into the northwest particularly, and lots of heavy rain as well. Now, you'll probably be hearing stories in the papers, or reading stories in the papers, about how we're going to be battered by these hurricanes. Don't be overly alarmed. We're not going to get an actual hurricane, but this area of low pressure is contained like the remains of those storms. And as you can see, fairly tight-packed ice bar, so will be a bit of a blow through the early part of next week. And then we keep these unsettled conditions going up to day 10. This takes us to day 10, which is Thursday, the 5th of October, when you can see low pressure is clearly dominating the weather, bringing in at very least showers or longer spells of rain, and fairly brisk winds as well. This will be ECMWF for Friday. So we're already unsettled at this point. We'll have showery bands coming and going into the second half of the week. That area of low pressure over there is Hurricane Lee on the far left-hand corner the chart as you're looking at it. We go through into Saturday, and again you can see Lee is just there, Maria is appearing over there, and we know what's going to happen because we're seeing it with the GFS. These two areas of low pressure going to kind of like form into one. This takes us to Sunday the 1st of October, where we have got another area of low pressure already hitting the UK, bringing wind and rain into the early part of next week. This is a week away, Monday the 2nd of October. Maria and Lee have developed into that area of low pressure just there. And what the ECMWF does with that, as we get through to Tuesday, pushes into the country as a very deep area of low pressure. That's bringing a lot of rain and very windy conditions through the early part of next week. That low pressure exits then as we go through into the middle of next week. We get to day 10, which is Thursday, 5th of October, with more low pressure close to the country, bringing probably more areas of rain, and could be some brisk winds in with that as well. So it does look very unsettled, very changeable as we go through to the early part of October. The only caveat with this, of course, is that these are tropical elements, the remains of tropical storms. It's a very uncertain time of year, so it's possible that in the end these storms will behave differently to what the models have shown this morning, that they will go somewhere else and we won't be impacted directly by these areas of low pressure. But as it stands this morning, it does look very unsettled through the course of next week. So finally, just to say about the Christmas update. So we're 3 months away from Christmas now, means that let's start thinking a little bit about Christmas updates. We won't begin the video updates for Christmas until the 1st of November. We always start Christmas updates on the 1st of November at Gazov in terms of videos, but during October we'll do 2 or 3 written posts just to get things going a little bit. So the first one of those will be coming up on Sunday. We always use the CFS V2 long-range charts from metroseal.fr for the Christmas updates. Thought I'd just show you what it's showing today. Remember, this is 3 months away, so it's a very long way out, but we're starting with the CFS V2 charts at Metroseal on the 23rd of December. And this is the midday run. It looks pretty cold here. We go through to Christmas Day, and we've got quite a deep area of low pressure to our southwest, bringing in an easterly wind. That could actually be a white Christmas for some parts of the country. That low pressure then sinks away to the south as we go through Christmas week. So we've gone up to 29th of December now, and we're putting in a bitterly cold easterly wind. This is a really wintry Christmas week here that the CFS is predicting this morning with these charts at Metroseal. Running up towards the New Year, stays cold. Winds remain from the east or northeast, probably bringing in more snow showers to eastern parts of the country. Just run you through that again. That's a very interesting looking situation. That is Christmas Eve just there. That's Christmas Day just there. That does look pretty wintry for Christmas Day, I have to say. That would be a white Christmas for some parts of the country, and then that low pressure slips away, turns the winds into the east as we go into Christmas to New Year period, and we pull in those very cold easterly winds with frost and snow showers. Very probable. I shouldn't really have shown you that yet. It's too early to be showing you these charts in the videos. But I thought I'd just give you a little plug, really, for the Christmas update. So the actual video updates won't begin until the 1st of November. That's when video updates will start. But we will have 2 or 3 written reports, as I say, coming up during October. The first one of those will be released on Sunday the 1st of October. At galsworthies.com. And then there'll be a couple more through the course of October as well. Right, that's all a bit of fun. Coming back to the more reliable time frame compared to 3 months away. So it looks like going into an unsettled phase as we get into the start of October. We may be impacted by the remains of Hurricanes Maria and Lee, which could give us a real blow in around a week's time. And quite a lot of heavy rain coming up with that as well. And the outlook beyond that, as we go through the first week of October, looks pretty unsettled. Alright, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.